Hello and welcome back to City Skylines, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have gone ahead and changed up some of the train lines, as you can see. This used to be a bit of a mess of tracks, and now I think it actually looks that little bit better. Now, this isn't necessarily a final version of what's going to be here for all of my trains, but this does function a lot better than what we had. None of the cargo trains are going onto the same bit of line as the passenger trains that are leaving or entering the city, and that's pretty good. These two lines here are for cargo, these two are for passengers, and I'm going to be honest, I forgot how slowly trains moved in vanilla City Skylines. It's actually really interesting to see. But there you go, you can see an example of how the trains all sort of filter around each other and filter together. The reason I changed this up is actually quite simple. Basically, trains were backing up and getting stuck, so I changed it to hopefully stop that from happening. If we have a look, we can see this train here is actually leaving again. This guy here is gonna pop in and go straight through, which is fine. This thing actually looks to be quite busy, and generally speaking, industrial traffic is not as bad as it was. Yes, there are some problems here, but it's definitely not as bad as it once was, so that is really, really good to see. Now, what I'd like to do today, to kick things off, is I actually want to go ahead and tear out some of this highway. So we're going to tear all of that out, and I'd like to go and get myself one... Oh, I didn't notice those all there. I want to get myself, I think, this, because this will be super useful. And if I just sort of put it, say, there-ish, it looks a bit weird because it's on a hill, and there's not really much I can do about that, but having another entrance to the city, I think, is going to be super important, especially since we're going to be putting a tourism area up here. So let's see if we can make this thing look a little bit better. So if we get ourselves some highway just here, and sort of freeform this up that way, then to there. Now that looks pretty good to me. Let's bring that back a little bit, and just do the same thing here, where this can curve around very, very gently. Just a little bit like that, and go to there. Now that connection's not great, we can take that back even further and hopefully make something quite nice. Let's just do that, which is better than what we had, so that'll do the job. As for over here, this entire section is going to need to be slightly redone. There we go. And this bit as well can be slightly redone. Let's go from there to there. Maybe not. Let's try that distance instead. So from there to... I'm going to say there. No, that's not quite right either. How about that? I think that works. It goes out a little bit far, but it connects, and that's all I really care about. So that'll do the job for another entrance to the city. And I'm going to do it exactly the same way I did the other one. It's going to be a highway. So let me just connect across between... Oh, now that's an issue. But it shouldn't be too difficult to make it work. So if I do that, then we turn it into this road. All right. Then bring you back to about there, and we just connect across quite simply like that. And that's not going to work. Okay. Well, that's a problem. Let's try that. Let's try... Oh, hold on a minute. There we go. Alright, so that connects perfectly, exactly how I want it to. And this is going to connect to that little spot just over there. So, if we go ahead and drag you out like this, and to about there, that is a bit of a risky spot to connect to, actually, but I'm going to see what happens. I imagine this road is going to start taking a lot of traffic. We might actually see some industrial traffic come over this way, which has me very tempted to say that I'm tempted to do an industrial traffic ban here, to be honest, because that'll push all of the industrial traffic over here. Alternatively, if I did a heavy traffic ban in the Sterling district, well, no, that doesn't really make sense, because heavy traffic does need to get to these shops. So I suppose we'll see what happens. We can wait and see what happens. So we'll go ahead over here, and we'll start planning out the way this district's going to work. I have decided that we are going to have this diagonal road here, but this district is still going to be on sort of a grid. And the reason I've decided that is because if you look here, that's one hell of a hill to try and build diagonally on. And I think it'll be quite cool to have the tourism district on a bit of a hill, but not going at that diagonal. So I'm going to come over like this. And I'm going to go, I guess, from there the whole way up. So that's a pretty big district. And that's fine. But I do want to make a slight change. I've seen so many people asking for trams that we are going to do trams in this district. So we're going to have trams just running through and around the tourism district instead of the metro system. So hopefully this will work. There's no guarantee, but we'll soon find out. So there we go. The trams are going to loop around there. They are going to go into the district as well, obviously. Well, slightly. But this could be a fun idea. This could be very, very interesting. So let's see. What I want to do then is I'll have some trams running up there. Just like that. Now that doesn't connect perfectly, which is annoying, but probably not much I can do about that other than, well, this might work. We'll see. Let's see what happens if I connect you to there. Yeah, weird connections, but my priority isn't necessarily building on avenues anyway, so we should be fine. I suppose we'll see what happens. So that tram can run through there. I would also like a tram to sort of run up and down through the middle a little bit. I think that could be kind of cool, but we'll see. We might have a couple of maybe just a couple of tram lines sort of going in and around the area. We'll see. We will probably need a metro station in here somewhere. But again, we'll sort of get to that. I am actually going to slightly change this up a little bit. So if we do this kind of thing and I go from here to there. Yeah, that's going to work a bit better. So you connect to that point, which gives me a nice connection up here. Then you come across and connect to that point just there. And that all seems to be connecting much, much better, which is exactly what we want to see. So that's good. That's going to have some trams going up and around it. This area here, I haven't decided what it's going to be. This might be more of a... Well, what if... Because you can have two different areas. You can have leisure, or sorry, tourism and leisure. So what if we did two different sort of leisure areas here? Or maybe this one can be tourism, like, I don't know. I think this one should be tourism, because I think tourism is mostly... No, this one's going to be leisure. Then tourism, then more leisure. So we'll leave this area kind of bare for the time being, because it is in a sort of weird spot. So we'll see what we can do. So this is leisure. It's going to need plenty of ways to get around. Let's see what we can do with roads here. No, these are mostly going to be, I guess, fairly grid-based. Which is fine. So if I go from 11 from there, and I go 11 from here as well, then, like... Oh, this could be interesting. Hold on a minute. If I do that, and then up. Now, bear with me. I know this is going to look really strange, but I think this could be a fun idea. If we sort of just snake back and forth like this, we're going to get a really interesting and unique-looking area here. Which, unfortunately, has to connect on the same side, but that's fine. So that is definitely interesting. I like it. I really do. And what I'm thinking we can do there as well is if I get this tram road, I can turn this bit here into a sort of loop for trams to go around, so trams can go into the middle of the area. I think that would be really important to do. Well, it's also going to be super important since it is a leisure area, or whatever area I said it was going to be. We're going to do some pedestrian paths in here, because we're going to need them. I'm not going to do it like that, because that looks a little bit ugly, so we are just going to take out a bit of this zoning. Which is okay. I kind of want the area to feel really open anyway, so let's just do that. And that, it does leave a lot of space that's not zoned, but that's alright. I can get some parks in there. I can try and make it look really pretty, really nice, all that stuff. That bit can't have a pathway, and neither can that bit. But the rest of it totally can. So you can have a pathway, and you can have a pathway. Okay. So that's pretty good. That'll work, I think. So what we'll do then is get ourselves some trams. That's not trams, that's trams. And I just want the tram track to go to there. and there. So those connect straight through, which is fine. Then on this side, I'm so tempted to do the same thing. Sort of in reverse, though. I think that could be fun. What kind of distance are we looking at here? If I go from you to there... No, you know what? I can do that. I can totally do that. We can totally reverse this. Let's just get a little bit crazy. There we go. That's the phrase I was looking for. Alright, so that goes to there. Then down by 10. Then I don't know how many across. This is a problem. From that road, we go 14. So that's 14 there. Then 10, and 14, and 10, and 14, and 10, and 14, and 10, and 14, and there. Alright, so that is pretty much perfectly reversed, which is great to see, because then what we do is we upgrade this road into a bunch of tram tracks, and then we connect it all up nice and neatly, like so, and like so. Oh, that looks really cool, actually. I really like that. I really, really do. Can I get a bit of tram track down here, I wonder? No, I totally can. It just doesn't really fit. Because I kind of like the idea of this area being perfectly mirrored, like that. I don't think that's... No, that is perfectly. Okay. No, that totally works. All right. This tram track can stay over here. That's totally staying there as well. Let's get the pathways in, and then let's do some zoning. Now this is a slight issue here. We're going to want to raise this train track. So this needs to come out, and needs to be raised up the whole way around, because I want these roads to connect together, just so that's another way for people to get through. So what we'll do is, from this station, we're just going to have a pretty steep slope. We really don't have a choice, unfortunately. It just needs to go straight up to 12, then to that point. Then this one needs to go straight up to 12 meters as well, then to that point. Then we just need to get a nice big curve in here, so something like that. Now at the moment, I don't know if that's going to let me go through, which could be an issue. So can I go from there? No, alright. Well, what we'll do then is take that right back and go through with this, like so. No, that's alright. That's alright. We can make it work. Let's grab this train track and go straight to there. Then, I guess, try and curve like this. So from that point to there. There we go. That's not so bad. It totally works. Still connected. Gives us this road through here, which is going to be super important. So what I'll do at this point is that's just all going to be offices along there, which is the standard and go-to bit of zoning for that space. This little bit won't be, because that's just going to have to be trees. So let's just do... let's get that to zone first and get it to build up first. As for this space, though, I'm so happy with how this has turned out. I really, really am. I think what we'll do is this can be the leisure area. Then here can be tourism, and this can be tourism. Because that way the leisure is sort of central, which I think could be kind of cool. Plus, it's got some pretty good public transport about it there, so that's going to be pretty useful too. So let's go ahead and get all of this just around here. Just like so. Then we're going to need to fill that up. And I actually have a pretty good name for what I'm going to call this district. I don't usually rename my districts. You might have noticed. I've sort of gotten out of the habit of naming them. But this one, I want to be called Rushport. So Rushport. And if by any chance you're watching this and you're from Northern Ireland, I want you to think of places that people go in Northern Ireland that has a lot of leisure and has that, it's similar to that, alright? If you know it, then you know exactly what I'm thinking of. If you don't, then maybe someone in the comments from Northern Ireland will be really generous and tell you. So that's sort of a play on a place that exists. As for this road, it seems to be functioning pretty well. Let's go ahead and specialize this for leisure. Now, I do need somewhere to, I do need a tram depot, which I guess can probably go here somewhere? That's actually perfect. Yeah, that totally works. All right. It's a little bit weird here, but that's all right. We can maybe fix... No, we won't be able to fix that because it's within a building's footprint. We'll do that, though, just to make it look nice. As for here, this is all built up pretty well. So let's go ahead and get some trees just into this space. Alrighty, so the trams are doing what they need to do. They are looping around the place. There's a bunch of tram stops in there, as you can see. A couple of looping lines. Basically, these two... There's two separate lines here. One that sort of loops around this side, one that loops around this side. Then there's one that loops around this outer bit here, and one that loops around this one. Then there's one that goes around the whole thing. So there's 5 different tram lines in there, which at the moment is pointless because of the simple fact that, you know, we totally have a bunch of trams going about and picking nobody up. This tram line over here, though, actually has someone waiting already. But this one should be quite useful, just purely because of the fact that it does actually take people from here and, you know, this road into those districts. So what we'll do is I'm not going to bother zoning this yet, because it is an area that really doesn't need it. What I've also decided is that this isn't going to be a tourism district here. Yeah, tourism. This will be. So tourists basically will be down by the coast, looking out over the small pool of terrible water. They'll be on the coast. But this is going to be the leisure district, which will be good. So that'll be nice to have. I would like to go ahead and get some parks in there. I think that's going to be super important. Hopefully I can get some that fit, but it doesn't look like it. Really doesn't look like the game wants to cooperate with me, which is lovely. Nope. Nope. All right. I guess I could get a couple of those. Actually, no. Okay, can I get any parks that fit? I guess those do, but that's a playground. I don't really want a playground in there. I could get this park. That would totally fit, especially in that space. I just don't know that I necessarily want it there. What about some plazas? I could get 2 of those, which I guess are probably my only choice. Unfortunately, that does take up a big bit of zoning, which I'm tempted to not do just purely because of that fact. At least there. I think in this spot, it's probably okay to take up that zoning, if I can get one that, you know, will fit nicely. Which, actually, now that I think about it, this park does. So that park is totally going on those inside bits. Just like that. And then down here as well, the same park. I know it's the same park over and over again, but number 1, that's going to be a really good boost to the area. And number 2, it's not a terrible looking park. We do have some dog parks, we have some large playgrounds, we have this giant park here, which I've yet to get into the city. I probably should. I think I'll put it there, just because we haven't had that park in here yet. So that can go there, and then what we'll do is I'm going to grab this road, and this road is going to go up behind these guys. So to there and to there. And that should be fine. Wait, that was a tram road. No. I kind of want that to just be a road with grass on it. There we go, so that should be nice. These roads here could probably have grass on them as well, because that way people won't park on them, which I think might be a pretty good idea. Just because I don't think, aesthetically speaking, it's going to look all that nice if people are parking all over the roads. So we'll go ahead and put a bunch of grass-lined roads into these areas. Just like so. Unfortunately, you can't put grass on these roads at all. That always slightly annoys me. I also realize these trams are actually getting people using them because these parks are places that people want to go. That's kind of cool, actually. Anyway, let's figure out this district, which, looking at it, I'm so tempted to put a tram going up through there because that would be a perfect spot for it. So I'm going to do that just because I can. So I can get a little tram that just goes like this. To... You know what? I'm gonna have to say there. I guess that can happen. Then just turn this into a tram road. And then we'll have a, I mean, what do we want to do here? Do I want trams that go into that space? I guess I kind of do in a way. So I'm going to move that tram line to there. Just there, so that it doesn't have to go onto this major bit of road. Which does actually mean... Well, no, that does still need to be connected because that's the tram facility, but... That does mean that trams aren't going to this major junction. It does mean that we have 3 junctions right very close to each other, but I think we'll be alright. I think we can manage that, hopefully. We'll see. We'll see how the future goes. Let's go ahead and connect these guys up, because that way people can walk straight across there, which is always nice. Let's maybe fix this a little bit and make it a bit nicer, though. So there we go. They can walk across there. We can get some buildings into that space. As for up here, you know what? I'm gonna turn that into a tram road as well, so that people can sort of go straight across there. And then I'd like to just maybe grab a road from here. That is gonna leave me with a bit of an awkward gap, though. I guess I could do some parks. Parks are always an option. We'll do that. Let's connect you across, and I could connect that across to there, which I think I will, and then I'll just set an old town policy so people can't drive through this area. That seems like a pretty good idea to me. So let's go ahead and set this as a new district. So we'll go around like this. Oh, I just deleted part of it. What did that say? I thought it said Peasant Hills. I was gonna say, that's not a friendly name for... I mean, it's going to have to be the name of it. No, I'm getting rid of that L and calling it Peasant Hills, but, I mean, I thought that was a bit much for a randomly generated name in City Skylines. Good old Peasant Hills. That's where all the peasants live. By the way, I don't know if you're getting the plosives on the microphone, but I just want to make sure you're getting the fact that it is called Peasant. I'm getting a bit carried away with that. Let's go for Peasant Hill. Peasant Hills. There we go. So, oh dear, I'm a terrible human being. Right, let's go ahead and put a pathway up there and down to there as well. Well, maybe not do that one, but that's okay. I would like to connect that across, I think. And I'll do a little connection there too. And that seems alright to me. That seems like there's some good space to play with in there. What I would like to do is that and that, so that we can get some regular zoning in there. Then if we just go like that as well. So yeah, that'll totally work. Then we'll do something similar up this way. Let's see. That and that. Yeah, totally fixed the zoning, which is good. And I don't think I need to do that anywhere else. Good. All right, so what kind of zoning are we going for in here? I guess... Well, I'll do my usual thing of putting some offices there to start with. I'll put some offices there. And just generally along that avenue can just be a bunch of offices. So there as well. The rest of it, I think this bit, offices... I'm gonna say offices the whole way up here. Just because that way we have some offices facing into this area rather than anything else. I'll say some shops can go there. And I'll put some houses just in there. So I think that'll be pretty good. Get rid of you. And I can put some trees in there, actually, which will look lovely. So let's go and get some trees. And actually, let this area build up first so I can see where the trees are going. Do they have water? No, they don't. They do not. Okay. Well, I can fix that. Let's go from here the whole way up. To about there. Let's go from here to about there. And here to about there. Then connect those all across like that. Connect you down to there. And just quite simply fill in the gaps. Which is nice and easy. Water availability seems like it's alright. Doesn't seem like it's going to be much of a problem. So there we go. Peasant Hills and Rushport both have their areas developing. I think Peasant Hills I'm gonna make into a vanilla themed area. Rushport is gonna be... well, actually, in saying that, I don't know if Rushport will actually build all that well. I mean, I don't know, are there... I assume there must be entertainment and tourism buildings and leisure buildings that are in the style of the European buildings, because this area is gonna be European. Because it is sort of on the side of the city that is European. So it kind of has to be. So it should be alright. We don't have much in the way of demand at the moment, which is okay. We don't really need to worry about that. Also, you might have noticed I went ahead and sort of slightly decorated this roundabout. I've been saying I'd do that for a while. I finally got around to it. So that's quite nice. I also I filled in some of the, or all of the gaps around this area here, Pine Hills, which I think looks quite nice. It's very luscious. Just around here. It looks pretty good. I also put a couple of trees and some bushes down here. This pathway is actually super busy a lot of the time. I think it's because there's a metro station at this end and there's one at this end as well. And I went ahead and sort of connected some pathways just down here and there as well. So it is a, you know, fairly busy path, and I'm okay with that. I think it looks pretty good. This area here seems to be building up quite nicely as well, which is always good. There's a few people using the trams. I'm actually curious. In general, the trams are used by 30 people per week. Oh dear. Quite a few people using the metro. 835 on Metro Line 12, which is south west to northeast, which is pretty cool, actually. I love looking at this. I really do. This station's not so busy, but you just kind of go around. You see this one's slightly busier than the last, and then this one's completely packed. Then you go to the next one, and it's not quite as busy, but there's a lot of people here, and there's so many people walking around here. There really are so many people. It's ridiculous. As for... like I said, Metro's not going to be a big feature of this area. I do think it should be a feature of the area, which has me slightly tempted to do like a straight west to east line, which might be a cool idea. I could do it right in the middle of the district as well. So if I did something like that and something like that, which ever so slightly... yeah, you would not want to walk on that, would you? That's a bit strange looking. Maybe we'll not do that. I mean, I would kind of have to put it up here for it's not complete. I'm gonna have to keep them there. But what I'm thinking is if I were to do that kind of thing, connect those together and get to about the middle there, and bulldoze a little bit like that, and connect those to each other, I could effectively do a line that goes straight through everything else, which I think would be pretty cool to do. So this one would need to connect... I don't really want to connect it to this station because that'd be super busy, but I'm probably going to have to. So if I did that, and then had it come out of that station and go straight to there, and then I guess straight to there, that's probably what I'm going to have to do. So that would go from there to there. So this line would go... oh dear. We start here, we go straight... oh, the blue line is... no, that's a train. Never mind. I got very confused there. So this would go straight to the middle of the city. Then it would have to go... no, you know what? I'm going to give it 3 stops. And then it comes back, goes to there, then to there. And I kind of just want that to be the end of it, to be honest. I don't really want it to go around. Are there people waiting there already? Yes, there are. That's very strange. Maybe we sort of just have it loop back again? So it sort of doubles up on itself? That's really weird to do, but let's give it a shot and see what happens. So then it comes back to there. I guess that works. Let's change the color of it. That's Metro Line... what? 16? Yeah. So Metro Line 16 is going to be yellow. Or sort of goldy yellow. We'll see what happens. So hopefully it'll be quite busy. It is a straight sort of horizontal line through the city. It will hopefully not back up too much. Ah. Now this is a problem. It is actually backing up my trains. I think that's probably because it's such a long line, technically, isn't it? It's got 11 vehicles, where this one has 5 and this one has 6. Yeah, that's because it's so long, so that really didn't work. Alright, well, let's do that again. I have another idea. don't worry. That was a dumb idea. I have another one. It's going to be slightly less dumb. So this one goes from there to there, then that one. Then it just comes straight back and goes to there. So that's fine. That totally works. What I'll then do is have one that goes to there, and then I guess just around sort of the lower part of the city. Or maybe takes you sort of over to the train station. Because this one's very much a sort of going through the city kind of line. Like if you want to get just straight through the city, that's fine. I don't know why it stops at the cargo station, but okay. But the rest of, like, this one, I guess, I mean, this area is going to be tourism-based or leisure-based. So I guess having a train, a metro that sort of goes through some of these areas could be a good idea. I feel like this one's where I want it to go. I don't know why, I just feel like that's where I want it to go. Then kind of down here, and then back. So we'll see if that works. I'm going to make both of those yellow, just because that's the color I want to go for this particular area. So a nice bright yellow for both of those lines. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully they don't back things up like crazy. They should both have fewer vehicles than that one previously did. So 6 on you and 4 on you. We'll see if that works. I mean, there are a few people waiting around in there. Trains are definitely backing up, but I feel like some of those are vehicles that are wanting to return to various stations. So we'll see. Now, you are having some problems, but I think it's just that green train is causing the problems. Let's have a look over here. Anyone waiting about? A few people. What about... Let's follow the line around. This one, not so much. But that's alright. Over here has quite a few people, which is good, because it's quite close to the train station, which is what we want. So hopefully that'll fill up a bit. Hopefully. Let's go ahead and zone this area then, because we kind of need to. And I'm just going to straight up go into the whole thing and just do this. So there we go. That's the size of the area that we're dealing with. Going to de-zone that bit because it doesn't zone correctly, and de-zone that bit because it doesn't zone correctly, and the rest of it's fine. So let's do, I guess, a pedestrian path like that. And I'll do one there as well. And this area is building, which is good. Just got to get it to fill up, I suppose. Well, it's taking its time, but Rushport is actually growing quite nicely, and it looks really cool from here, because if you just look through at what point, this point, you can just sort of see, you know, going up the hill, all these tall buildings, and I really, really like that. I've also gone ahead and changed the way this metro thing works. So what happens at this point is, you know, everyone goes down to the metro as they're doing. They get on the train, and the train takes them the whole way along here. Ignore the blue, that's the actual train line. The metro takes them along here and down, and then goes to this stop. It goes to this stop because that stop is just opposite this train station, which is very, very important. It then comes around. It doesn't stop here. It comes along, and I put a new metro station here where it does stop. I put that there because it's right next to a station that has 2 stops for this blue line. Now, if you remember, the blue line is the southeast to, or sort of southwest to northeast line. So anyone on that line can transfer station and get onto the yellow line, which will eventually take them around to the leisure area. The yellow line then continues along here and stops in front of this train station as well. Again, very important. Comes around and stops at this station, which again is next to the red line, which, if we remember, is the northwest to southeast line just there. So again, those people have the ability to transfer, which a lot of them are doing, and also the bus lines really, really help. If we continue along, it comes back around and goes back to here. Now, what I'd like to do is go ahead and create an inverse of that at the other station. So what you do is we're going to come along, it's going to stop there, it's going to stop there, it's going to stop there, and it's going to stop there, and it's going to come around and stop at that station. So that's the inverse line, the inverted line for that's basically the two lines that we're going to need for this leisure area, both in yellow there, which I think will be really useful. I think that'll be a nice thing to have, and will hopefully serve Rushport really well. And it's worth pointing out, traffic here is not bad. There's not a lot of it, and we do have quite a few buildings. I mean, it's obviously not full. That's going to take a little while to do, but it's quite nice. I'm quite pleased with how it's turned out. I do think I might want to go ahead and I'm going to pull out some of this just here and put some residential in. I don't usually put residential along avenues, but in this case, I kind of want to. So we'll do that. I think I'll also pull this zoning out of, well, I'll leave it as is. You know what I should actually check? I should check, yeah, this is actually flowing. This is flowing pretty nicely. Over here is flowing pretty nicely too. The industrial traffic is still a problem, but that's generally always going to be a problem. Although I'm not entirely sure why, because they could go to the left and go out that way. Ah, yeah, there is a bit of a tailback here. But that seems okay to me. That seems completely fine to me. It's not, we don't have horrible traffic problems, except there. This spot is, I mean, it's kind of the middle of the city anyway, so it is going to naturally be very, very busy. The roundabout is actually working, which is possibly the biggest surprise of this series so far. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with how this is going. This area does have a lot of growing to do, but generally speaking, it seems to be fine. I do think I want to go ahead and put some trains? Not trains. I want to put some trees in here to sort of hide that train line a little bit. Just make it look a little bit nicer. So something a bit like that should be fine. It is a little bit overgrown, but I'm not too worried about that. It hides the trains, and that's kind of what we're going for. We'll go ahead and get a couple of little oak trees just in there as well, as something just a little bit different. So do that, then get some shrubs, some bushes, and just sort of spam them about the place like that, and a little bit like that as well. There we go. So that hides the trains which are in there, which I think is super important. And I do absolutely love how this train line just cuts through these buildings. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I really, really do. I just love how that looks. I also love that people actually use them. I love this public transport system is working. That's the thing. Like, there's so many people using the metro. There's a fair few people using trains. Quite a few people here as well. Not that many using trams, but that's kind of to be expected. But yeah, it's nice. I really like it. Obviously, we need more customers to a lot of this space. We're going to want to get the tourism area in and start building some hotels. But for the time being, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to leave it there. So, thank you kind of for watching. This has been City Skylines and the Vanilla Let's Play. I don't know what part it is. I've completely forgotten. But, yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. That way, YouTube will think I'm popular, and they'll show the video to even more people.